This has been Mandrake reporting to you live from Sky Hagga in the deep desert as the Coriolis storm does pick up and kick in. Everybody is very quickly moving their bases out of the area. We had a bit of a, I guess you would call it a whoopsies from the update which occurred yesterday. And if you joined us earlier, we're going to just stop here real quick and kind of give you a summary before we go out there, because we're going to, well, let's go a little further indeed. Yeah, a bit of a whoopsies had occurred where, pardon me, the servers moved, some control points had moved, rendering many of the islands which were on the PvP and PvE line to become full PvP territories. Now this was interesting because there were many clustered bases on these islands and not everybody was friendly. So there were some neighbors with some issues toward each other, and they all woke up today discovering that they were able to act in hostility towards one another. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take Sky Hagga over to our forward operation news gathering post, which was one of the areas on one of the islands in effect. Early this morning, the HBN team was kind enough to make an emergency move to the south in order to make our move out of the desert not only safe, but easier. So we're going to go ahead really quick here, and we're going to stop on this rock and prepare for moving into the area which was the conflict zone. We have received reports of some interesting happenings that have happened. Unfortunately, I was sleeping because it was a very late night due to the emergency move. So we're going to stand by here. Everybody just stand by. We're going to come back live in just a second. We're just going to put up a hold screen for now. Okay, so I actually think we are ready to do this. So let's go ahead, and we have our thrusters on at the moment, which means we're going to be able to get in and out very quickly in case we experience hostility. We are ready for combat if we need to defend ourselves. So let's go survey some of this damage. It does not seem, oh yes, our base, our forward operation base is no longer appearing. So it does look like we have been raided. So let's go be very cautious as we approach this control point. Well, we're probably going to survey the damage from Sky Hagga on the outer regions in the PvE zone, depending on what kind of activity that we see there. What an interesting development, folks. So let's check where, okay, yeah, see we're going way off because we don't have that beacon to help us determine where our location is. I believe this is it over here. A little overheating, nothing to worry about when we're in such a good glide. So let's go survey the damage. I do have a very interesting story to tell you about what's happened here that was sourced from one of our field reporters, our analysts over at HBN. Shout out to Norma, who relayed the information to our second Keon. So thank you both for that. And what area are we in? Again, we're being very cautious as we do this. So I believe we're actually right over here. Y'all, it is still there. I guess I just was not aligned correctly, probably because I'm getting distracted with all of the reporting. Okay, so let's head over to that area. We don't need that marker there. As we're going to cross into the D6 region, that is where our location was. And D6, oh, sorry about that. I wasn't paying attention again. D6 was one of the regions in our deep desert which was affected. Yes, we were one of the first teams out here early this morning after a update, and we went to our forward operations outpost and noticed that we had crossed into a PvP territory suddenly. So definitely knew that some things were going to happen and things are going to get pretty heated out here. And so here's the story. we have some griefers, a couple of very well-known griefers, the two most famous ones being an individual named Girl and another one whose name I'm actually kind of hesitant to say, as it does have a meaning that I'm not really sure what to make of exactly, but that would be a Molly Water. And these two griefers have been pestering the deep desert for some time, and apparently Molly had attacked the location of one of the griefers, which, yeah, I am not seeing that location anymore here. The base was in this area, and that did belong to an individual named Girl. Nope, we're gonna go ahead and back out again. Yes, okay. Alright, let's go ahead and keep our distance for now. Just keep an eye. We did see an ornithopter moving in and out. And we're going to check around here. Everything else seems to be okay. It does seem that maybe that one location, which was our neighbor, was the only area affected. So that base is completely gone. Word has it that the two have had it out for each other for some time, so this is a griefer on griefer scenario. And from what we understand, a lot of the individuals, which I'm not sure if I agree with this, were noting that Molly is now somewhat of a Robin Hood, as Molly did attack their base while nobody was around, taking advantage of those early morning hours, and or the mid-noon hours, from what I understand, and did destroy the base, punching holes into it, and making a public announcement that all resources available at that base were open to the public, so everybody was able to go in there and source items, spice, whatever was left. So that is a big loss for the other team, and from what we hear, which this would be typical for people who, have an advantage and don't like losing, we've heard that one of the teams has called it quits. That would be the team with Girl has called it quits. Sick of the randomness, the random decrees that the Imperium has just sort of laid out from week to week, causing major issues. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can't safely... Yeah, okay, we're good. There's the control point that was moved. As you can see, it's there right in the middle of an individual's base. Okay, and again, we have safely moved out of this. We do still have power, and we are going to begin our full move from our other proxy base here in moments. There it is. We have been raided. Our door is open. Let's see if we can't make a quick fix to this. Just to make sure that I'm safe while I'm in here. Dang, okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, at least we're plugged in for now and we're good to go. Yeah, as you can see, now we have two doors. So that is I don't know why I did that. Anyway, that is the situation as it is. Let's go ahead and let's just check the hangar real quick. Yeah, everything looks sealed in here. It was just that one spot. So, yeah, I'm sure the individuals who did probably last gun in through this wall were a little bit surprised to see that everything was completely empty. Let's go look at the generators. Everything in here is still intact. And power will be running out here during the Coriolis storm, so we're not really worried about too much. Let's go check our observation post and tower and see what we can spot from up there, from a somewhat of a safe location at this point. Yeah, so everything else looks relative. I'm sure there's like a hole here and there in some bases, and if you were able to get out in time, that is fantastic. However, Girl's base, the individual known as Girl, has been completely decimated and is now no longer in existence. And from what we understand, all resources were taken from that location. And basically, yeah, so that is... Sorry, we didn't realize we still had our helicopter voice on. That is basically the situation as it stands here. Hopefully some of you less hostile players, more concerned with refining the spice, were able to get out in time. Thankfully we were. So what we're going to do now is, since everything seems to have quieted down over here and we still have some moving to do, we are going to go ahead and go back to our proxy base here in the DD and begin the final move back to our home base. So we're going to remain live for a little bit and sort of give you a preview of what that move is going to look like. It should be relatively easy for us, considering that we did most of the work this morning on a moment's notice. So for now, what we're going to do is, I have a little bit of some content for you that we're going to play, but let's first get out of the base. There's some spice blooms happening, so there's sure to be some action. Let's see if we can't get a look at that. That looks like a small spice node which has exploded. Might not get as much attention as you would think. So as you can see, the timer is giving me now around 30 seconds is what it roughly runs in order to get from area to area, from PvP to PvE. This being an issue to be resolved on both sides of people camping the safe zone and the PvP zone, so that people are no longer able to camp either side. So that, again, is the situation here in the DD. We're going to go ahead and cut to a little bit of a presentation for you while we set up here for this move.
Hello, Dune. Hagga Basin News here. We're going to show you the best way to get agave seeds. Agave seeds can be hard to come by. There's one really good way to get them that we've discovered so far. By visiting the far northwestern corner of the map in the Udom region, you can stroll around and find them, but they're pretty difficult to spot. You'll only loot about 5 at a time, and plants come by the singles. Here's a tip. If you have a hand scanner, that can make things easier, but if you have your ornithopter and a simple chemical refinery, go ahead and take the time to build the scanner for the scout. This is going to make things much easier. Simply fly over the region, scan, check your map, and look for the flower icons. This reveals the bulk of agave seeds in your scanner's range. To build the scanner, you'll need 507 quantity water, 55 aluminum ingots, 31 particle capacitors, 27 cobalt paste, and 23 units of complex machinery. The complex machinery can be found at the Slaver outpost in Kadir's Hand. Particle capacitors can be scavenged from research facilities. For the cobalt paste, you'll need to travel to Hagga Rift to gather some etherite ore, which can be broken down in your chemical refinery. Aluminum is easy to find at the top of the mushroom-looking rock formations in Jabal Efret al-Janub, toward the north past the Vermilius Gap. Next to Kadir's Hand, you'll need a way to get up high, and you'll also need a Mark III cut array. Agave seeds are mainly used to make faction-based lighting. If you don't care about the lighting, then you don't need agave seeds, period. End of story. This is HBN News with Vin Mandrake, your news across the Dune. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and spread the word. Out. We're out.
Go ahead and hit the card. This is Hagga Basin News. Vin Mandrake here in Sky Hagga, and as you can see, the Scoloris storm is in full effect, and I am seeing a giant giraffe walk across the desert. Holy shit, is this not news? My God! Oh my God! Look at it! It's beautiful! Hello, friend! Oh, that giraffe is gigantic! How high up is he? Oh,
He's got a horn. It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn giraffe. Oh, I don't know what's going on right now. This is the best news I've ever gotten. This is gonna make us. This is gonna make us. This is gonna make our station. What the fuck is that? It's a fucking giraffe. Where does horn go? I'm gonna ride it. Where'd he go? Folks, I don't know if you just saw that, but here we are covering the ongoing effects of the Coriolis storm. And I'm not sure if that was a result of the Coriolis storm, but that giraffe was gigantic.
What is... Oh, I didn't even realize I wasn't on audio. Sorry about that, folks. Oops. Yeah, anyway, I was just explaining what we're doing, that we're moving our deep desert base back into the Hagga Basin, to the guild base, do all the rigmarole. So that is where we're going. Ah. Hello, sir. Who is this? Crimes are us. I'm not sure I trust that. War crimes are us. Oh, well, we're safe here, I guess. So.
Ain't no rules here, brother.
Oh, I see how it is. So as you can see, folks, it is an interesting mentality. Lots of hostility going on all over the place. Ain't no rules here, when in fact there are many rules here. Many. So, oh boy, everything is going on. There's just so much happening. Who's this individual here? This is Flora. Hi, Flora. How are you today? I think I've seen you before. It must be, you're not getting any, like, sand in any places it shouldn't go? Dressed like that?
Okay, well, yeah, but you're actually live right now. This is HBN News, and we were just interviewing some folks coming back from the deep desert, moving their bases. What a day, huh? Did you get out safe? Was your base affected by the control point move? Oh yeah, no, that's a very good strategy. Inconvenient, but oh my, are we? I don't know if this is safe to do live on air. How? Well, apparently, folks, she's just gonna go ahead and run out in the desert and give herself back to the stand. So, she must have had a rough one, but that's about. That's about the gist of it. You see this from time to time here. Maybe she's finding us. Oh no. Oh my! We can't show that. We cannot show that. Should I go revive her? Oh, what a tragedy, folks. This is sad. Drink from Catch Pocket. Okay, let me just ask you guys. Being dressed the way she is, what do you think the Catch Pocket is? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so moving on. Let's go ahead and hop back in Sky Hagga and get this done. Wow.
Ooh-wee. Why did it load us back into the... Oh, I must have clicked in the wrong direction. Yep, that's okay. We'll just go back to the thing again. I do that sometimes. There's a lot going on over here. So I do apologize. Let me just... I do have a communication to make, so let me just post up here really quick. I'm taking care of it. Just some guild talks here. And we... Let me just explain to them. There we go. It's been a hell of a day, to say the least. Lucky I hopped on and checked fairly early after the update and noticed the issue at hand. And we owe a lot to Keon because I couldn't have done this without him. Boom, okay. Boy, what a, oh my gosh. I mean, it's just been absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. People killing each other. We have that Robin Hood situation going on, apparently. I don't like that. I would rather call it like maybe the Sheriff of Nottingham trying to pretend to be Robin Hood is more accurate. But that is an interesting development. And yes, that base is completely ransacked and gone. And, you know, if it results in a, you know, as griefer on griefer action, if it results in one of the griefers completely leaving Arrakis, this would probably be a benefit to us all. So I guess this is what you would call, very specifically, a silver lining in all of the mayhem. Letting them fight it out, the update causing massive problems. But yeah, I do still have to do a lot of work in the next couple of hours here to get the base down. It's no worries, it's all under control. There will be no issues. We're just taking some of the more valuable resources back right now and putting them into secure access. Stand by, I'm just gonna go ahead and block this out really quick.
This is Vin Mandrake with Hagga Basin News, and as you can see behind me, it does appear that some individual has defaced Godzilla Rock by constructing an monstrosity on it. Fuck. Okay, go again. We messed it up. This is Vin Mandrake reporting for Hagga Basin News, and as you can see behind me is Godzilla Rock, and it appears that some individual has defaced it with some kind of monstrosity of a base. Yeah, actually quite an eyesore. Here, let's go ahead and hop in Sky Hagga here. As you can see, we're actually above 750 altitude, so we're not really sure how it is. They're trying awfully hard to uglify this rock. This is a very sad. This is a monument to everybody here in Hagga Basin, and it does appear that this individual has constructed a an extremely that's all we have for now. But we thought this was worthy of a report, but please keep in mind that we all have to look at your structures, so please build kindly. Again, this is Vin Mandrake and Sky Hagga. That's all we've got for now, so back to you in the studio. Oh my god, it's just so ugly. Alright, moving on. All right, okay, so we're here back at our Hagga Basin location, and I see that we do have some new people joining us. Thank you for joining us. What a day out there. If you guys have not heard, the control points in the Deep Desert were moved during the update. Hagga Basin News went right in just after the update to check some things out, and we were very surprised to find that we were in one of those locations. However, due to some good help from the team here, we were able to move everything south to an island into a safe zone as a proxy base so that we can
facilitate a safe move for the rest of the evening here out of the deep desert as the Coriolo storm does come in. So I've allocated some containers here, some of which has our guild's loot and payouts from the deep desert this week, and the other ones which will be used to house deep desert based materials for the morning as we go back in and start constructing. So these are some of those materials. Oh, those ones aren't, but that is. So let's put these where they belong, which would be up here. And this time we're going to go ahead and bring big boy Sky Hagga out, which, as you can see, I painted it last night in order to look intimidating while we were going in and out of the PvP to PvE zones. What did happen is we do have some controversial players on our server. We have, oh, I see the people who joined us have left, so we're going to just not worry about repeating ourselves. So never mind. Yeah, I was just going to talk about that Robin Hood situation again. Let's go ahead and give this its proper colors back. This is Sky Hagga Attack, or Sky Hagga Assault, if that works better for some. And there we go, and then that can be the blue, right? And then we go up here and we go boom, 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 and then over there and we go boom, boom, and boom. Okay, back to normal. So Assault, Sky Hagga Assault here. So we're going to go ahead and take Sky Hagga Assault back into the deep desert location and start resourcing the rest of the materials out of our base. Let's just check some communications. Alrighty, and out we go. Little refuel midair.
Very good. All right, and now we just go out there and continue the move. And we do have to just, everything that we break down at this point has to be placed in the containers. So what we want to do is I want to take the 2 melange and whatnot that we brought back, and I want to make a large container for our base goods as I bring that back. So just got to remember the agenda. Big container first and drop them off after we take stuff out. So now we're just going to go get some of the materials from the larger chests before we break the larger chests down and move them as well. It's a bit of a process, but it's going to be pretty easy for me to handle. That's why I really haven't asked any of the rest of the guild to help with this, because as they have to go to my siege, it would be very confusing, you know, for this temporary move. So I'm just going to take care of it, because Keon and I, one of our associates and I, took care of it very early this morning. And we got rid of, we did most of the work then, so it's not really like too much of a workload to handle at this point, other than coordinating everybody to come and get their vehicles out, which I should probably do right now. Let me just go to our proxy location before we send that message out. Yeah, it would behoove the rest of our guild to remove any items from our proxy base that they still have there that remain, that they wish to take with them. Gosh, how crazy. Hagga Basin News was on it. News across the Dune. We reported it as it happened, but nobody was up yet, and we did foresee that there would be some combat, which there has been. Some very high-profile situations, as well as I think some minor situations which have occurred. But I guess everything is high-profile. Everything is not exactly minor in a situation like this. We were talking about it, and it's almost like this was Got to give credit to Keon. He's one of our writers here at HBN. And Keon mentioned, you know, I had mentioned to him that what is going on here with the control point being moved and a suddenly peaceful area becoming PvP without any warning was almost like what had occurred in to the Atreides. And he said, "Are we actually getting Sardaukar?" And my response was plain and simply, yes. I do believe that is what is occurring. So, they say this is an unintended mistake, but I do not understand how something can be unintended. If you're in a room and you are discussing that we need to move some control points, I do not understand how the next logical conclusion isn't that, well, if we move control points before the storm, some players in PvE areas will become PvP. That's sort of obvious, no? Oh look, I forgot to paint the tail, so it's still kind of a green there. We'll fix that later. Not a big deal. Where's... I thought... Oh, I guess we're a little... Okay, yeah, our proxy base is here. Yes, and we had some issues earlier in the week with a new type of griefing which occurred in Hagga Basin, as we were the target over like a straight 2 days of what I consider to be a little bit further than griefing. You know, there's a difference between griefing and there's and harassment. There's also a difference between skilled PvP combat and griefing. So this is something that I think people need to consider when they start to play this game. This is a intense game. There's a lot of combat. There's a lot of people establishing their territories, you know, defending themselves, claiming things, creating dictatorships. And these are some of the things that just occur with PvP games like this. Okay, so let's see what we can move into. I should probably, though, because we have another assault here, huh? Let me make that announcement to our guild, let everybody know that they need to get their stuff, their helicopters out. So what do we have here? We have one. It's just me right now, so somebody did come and move there, so that's good. Alright. Okay, so now we can go ahead and make that move. One of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to take that as one of the last things because I have inventory problems with vehicle parts and I want to be able to account for that. Another bug that has not been... It's been addressed, but it hasn't really been fixed. So let's put all of this in here. And again, when you do break down your bases from the deep desert, it does give you back 100% of the resources. Right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to allocate some of the more important items versus the less important items. And then those guys are next. Okay. So that's good there. And then I'm going to put the rest on my person, and we're going to make another run back. Yeah, that's a little bit much. To Hagga Basin. Okay, so that fills us up. Again, it's just sort of a back and forth, moving things, trying to stay organized. But yes, if you're just joining us, it was quite an evening with the move of the control points. So we were up early and we went to check out the new updates when we noticed that our deep desert base had gone from PvE into PvP, rendering an interesting situation considering... sorry, helicopter voice now. Considering that... Oh, wow, yeah, we won Landstrat. Yep, Landstrat. Yep. We were talking about that last night, actually. I hate how it switches you to proximity. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it was an interesting situation because a lot of bases were clustered on these islands with neighbors who would, essentially be unfriendly to each other. But they were forced to sort of play along at the edge of the PvE PvP zone because they were in the PvE zone, camping it for resources that would explode, maybe up the spice bloom here or there. So this is what happened. Basically, two players that are very controversial, known as griefers in this area. It was griefer on griefer action. One of the griefers went for the other griefer and opened up their base, then made an announcement that it was a free-for-all. Everybody went in. They're now calling that griefer Robin Hood, which I think he's more of like a Sheriff of Nottingham pretending to be Robin Hood. Specifically because of the name. The name is very much indicative of bad things. So we're just going to call that person Molly, would be the griefer that attacked the other griefer named Girl. And supposedly from word on the street, Girl has called it quits because of this. Girl and their team has called it quits, so that would mean that one of the alleged griefers is technically leaving Arrakis. Arrakis no longer going to be with us, which is probably a benefit to the others, as it does wean down the population of griefers in our deep desert. And really there are only a couple targets whose names we have marked down on our own list left. So the work is getting done. These updates might seem like a negative thing, but I guess you could call these silver linings in the long run. So yeah, we're just gonna head back to Hagga base, or Hagga Basin, to our guild base, or temporary guild base, and store these resources until the Coriolis storm is over, at which point we will rebuild the deep desert base, and we need to split our resources among one another as the take for this week. We will be getting extra resources that we could split, which will be added to the pile because we won the land strat, which if we take a look here, what did we win? We won the production contract, which means all crafting costs are reduced by 25%. That is a huge benefit to the Atreides here throughout Arrakis. It's going to make it much easier to build things. So this is going to be the week that you want to build some of the higher tier equipment that is harder to get. Things that cost spice, things that cost plastanium. This is the week that you're going to want to get it done. And we're planning on grinding pretty hard and getting at least a crawler and a carrier. I think that the carrier should be the priority because we can move buggies around, and then the crawler would be second because then we can move the crawler into spice areas. Now, without a carrier, we can't really move a crawler. So the crawler would be sort of deemed sort of useless. Now, what I am planning on doing, I am running this guild now, Hagga Basin News, and we're trying to do multiple things to keep the guild profitable and make it so that everybody benefits. And what I am thinking about doing is, if we do build a carrier and we still need some time to build the crawler, I am thinking about leasing our services out to other individuals with the carrier so that we can make a profit off of transporting other crawlers and other equipment for other guilds. And when we do that, it will allow for us to make a little bit of money. Maybe charge some spice melange for those services, or plastanium, so that we can continue to build our crawler, get there a little faster. All right, let's take this big Chongus big boy right on in. Very good. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to move this. I just need to do this. Not that it matters, and I'm getting harassed by players anyway, so at this point, who cares? If it gets too bad, to be honest with you, if it gets too crazy out there, I'll probably just end up like switching servers and starting anew, unfortunately. But yeah, the fact that people can actually use game exploits to create massive problems for you here, which I'm going to be giving you guys a video and a report on later this week or into the weekend. The fact that players can do things in Hagga Basin that actually make your life a living hell, far worse than anything I've experienced in the DD, is kind of mind-blowing to me. And I know a lot of you are probably going, well, how is that possible? You're going to find out. I'm going to show you the video. I recorded the whole thing. We caught them in the act. We're going to be exposing these people on the show, whether they like it or not. Footage is already in the can, folks. Okay, so we need to get the 4. I gotta split that more because I only did a 2. Wait, so that's in the case. Okay, let's do this. Let's put all this. No, wait, that needs to go up. So we do need to take this out, this out, this out, this out. Drop our rockets. So these are gonna go in our vehicle storage. And we can take that and this, and these are gonna go up here in our higher tier resource box. And some of those as well. That, this, 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 this. Yeah. And then all the rest of it is gonna go over here. Found it funny because some players were calling me in the deep desert. They were accusing me of being a griefer. Folks, we have 0 PvP kills, so I mean, if my voice and reporting gives you grief, I guess that could be argued that I would be a griefer, but that is the extent to which we would be griefing, if that even counts. So funny how people can arbitrarily just sort of toss words around, and this is what happened. Okay, so everything is out there. Let me just go put the armaments away. And then the next thing is that we need to build a box. A big boy box. Alright, so we had the 2 that we put in there, and then that was what I split from the overall, so actually that needed to be 4, not 2. And these are just, I piled everything just in case, you know, some of the people from the guild are watching. I piled everything that I think is extra. I put the initial take of spice in this container, and then I took everything that was extra, which I think we had 586 or 486 yesterday, and as you can see, the extra has put us here. So now I need to build the container to be able to house our base, which initially cost spice melange, but really should be costing less spice melange now because of our decrease in crafting costs. Yeah, okay, so this is where the base materials are going to go. Good. Alright, and again, we want to put loot in these containers, base materials in these larger containers, and as we break down the containers from the deep desert, we will build more containers. So let's go back, let's see how it's looking out there. Boy, this thing is tough to keep in the air, I do say. I wonder what the carrier's like. It's probably even harder. We will be finding out soon. We will be finding out. So I do apologize. Like if I'm gonna keep playing a couple of the commercials that we put together here for you. I have circulated through the cycle once, but I'll go ahead and do that again as this loads in, as to keep things a little bit entertaining. Smack right in that wall. We all love it. Never gets old. Never gets old. Okay, so let's go back to commercial 1.
Hello, Dune. Hagga Basin News here. We're going to show you the best way to get agave seeds. Agave seeds can be hard to come by. There's one really good way to get them that we've discovered so far. By visiting the far northwestern corner of the map in the Udom region, you can stroll around and find them, but they're pretty difficult to spot. You'll only loot about 5 at a time, and plants come by the singles. Here's a tip. If you have a hand scanner that can make things easier, but if you have your ornithopter and a simple chemical refinery, go ahead and take the time to build the scanner for the scout. This is going to make things much easier. Simply fly over the region, scan, check your map, and look for the flower icons. This reveals the bulk of agave seeds in your scanner's range. To build the scanner, you'll need 507 quantity water, 55 aluminum ingots, 31 particle capacitors, 27 cobalt paste, and 23 units of complex machinery. The complex machinery can be found at the Slaver Outpost in Kadir's Hand. Particle capacitors can be scavenged from research facilities. For the cobalt paste, you'll need to travel to Hagga Rift to gather some etherite ore, which can be broken down in your chemical refinery. Aluminum is easy to find at the top of the mushroom-looking rock formations in Jabal Efret Al Janu, toward the north past the Vermilius Gap. Next to Kadir's Hand, you'll need a way to get up high, and you'll also need a Mark III cut array. Agave seeds are mainly used to make faction-based lighting. If you don't care about the lighting, then you don't need agave seeds, period. End of story. This is HBN News with Vin Mandrake, your news across the dune. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and spread the word. Out. We're out.
Okay, so we're moving the rest of the stuff back, and we're gonna just build another large container out in the base, or out in Hagga Basin. We're housing everything at our temporary guild base. You guys can tell me in the comments. So here's the thing. We have some segments coming out. I experienced an incident last week. I was trying to work on that, but then all this other stuff, it's like one thing happens after the next, you just can't keep up with it. And we were gonna have a segment ready by today, but it's gonna be ready more like Friday or over the weekend, about a new type of griefing which is occurring in Hagga Basin, which I experienced last week. I think I'm the only one to experience it so far, but I was the target of harassment from 2 individuals who we caught in the act. It happened over 2 days. It was non-stop while I was trying to build our new guild base, and I had to pull some crazy moves in order to combat the situation. The situation is neutral and secured as of now, and the way that I did that, which you'll see a lot more detail on when the video comes out, is but essentially I had to utilize desert storms to my advantage, as well as when people were not around, as well as building a gigantic pentashield over a 4 square property claim that we had in order to protect it so that I could build inside of it. That's how bad this situation was. And again, this is not a deep desert situation. This happened in Hagga Basin. So we're looking forward to releasing that video. Tell me what you guys think. Keon, one of our writers, was actually pitching this thought. He said, hey, you should call the segment To Catch a Predator. And I thought that was pretty good. So I'm thinking about calling it... Oh my God, what is that? What was that? What is that noise? What is going on? All sorts of weird stuff is happening. That was like, what was that show? NYPD Blue, or... Yeah. Bow, bow, you know what I mean? Okay, anyway. So, yeah, we're going to release that segment later this week, and the idea is that we're going to expose these people to discourage this type of behavior, because this is like sort of, you could call it griefing, you could call it meta griefing, you could call it whatever you want, but I think that there's very specific terms between skilled PvP, griefing, and then the third category, which is harassment. And what I believe actually happened to me was targeted harassment, which is not good. There it is. Boom, boom. What show was that had that sound? Was it I don't think it was NYPD Blue, was it? It was a while ago. Bow, bow. Anyway, that sounds like that sound. Alright, so in we go. Just fit this thing in there. I did build this hangar for the carrier.
And now I'm kind of thinking it might not be big enough. Okay, so let's put, just so that we can build with the materials. Need to put that spice in here. Oh wait, I think I left the spice. Shit. If I did, I'll just have to... Yeah, I did. That's my bad. I left it as a split in one of the containers. Is alright. Didn't I? Or did I put it down here somewhere? This is the confusing part, is keeping everything organized as you do this. Okay, so let me just... I'll put the spice back in there, the 2 melange that I've left at the base. We need to split this into 2. Crafting costs are less because we've won the Lance Rad. So this is going to go in here. But first, looks like I have to put the extra constructing materials. Let's do this first. And such in these cases. Yeah, so the batteries should all go in here. And the plastanium will go in here. Titanium ore. Spice related items over here. Okay. And, oh, we have this body too, huh? So let's put the body in here for water. We save our bodies. Don't ever, it's precious water. Water was definitely our last concern last night, as this control point issue was sort of the peak of everybody's night. Or morning. We were lucky to be one of the first ones to find out. I'm still tired. I slept a while, too. Yeah, I was about to hit the hay, and then we went out to the deep desert to check on the situation. And, yeah. Let's put this in my person. 1, 2, and then 3, 4. I forgot it's 4, not 2. Because that 4 is still out there at the base. Oops. Oh, wait, what am I missing? Plastanium? I gotta grab that plastanium then. This plastanium that I'm splitting from here was part of the initial constructing, and what I'm doing is I'm putting in our cumulative totals so that, because since crafting costs are now less, I'm just adding the excess to our totals so that we get more out of this week in terms of profit for the guild, for everybody's individual cuts. So we put that there. Again, here's how I'm organizing it, right? Spice-related items, you know, other loot and materials, plastanium, strividium, that kind of thing. Looted materials and other items down here, extra materials. And then over here, everything that we break down in the last portions of the base are going to go in these 2 containers so that we can quickly grab them and go back out and continue to break down. So right now we're going to go back out and make another run. And this should only take probably, I think, like 1 or 2 more runs, because we did do half of a breakdown this morning, which we were able to consolidate a lot of our materials. Our forward operations base was empty by the time anybody had the chance to raid it, which they did do. They did plug a hole into our wall, probably using a last gun, and I'm sure they were very surprised to hop in and see that there was nothing in there. So, haha, joke's on you. And now that the server has had a griefer on griefer incident, where one griefer took out another griefer's base, and that person has essentially potentially given up and called it quits and left, then that would mean that the alleged griefer is no longer part of the Deep Desert operation, which means we're down one entire team of griefers. How beneficial would that be? Well, alleged griefers, I should say. I have had some interactions with them, and they have been fairly civil to me. But the stories that I hear from others are very negative. Now, the other names that come up as griefers, every single one of them I have been able to confirm is absolutely a toxic individual. So here we go. Going back, getting some more stuff. So we have 3 viewers on YouTube and getting to 3 viewers on Twitch. One of those viewers on YouTube is me. One of those viewers on Twitch is me. So the 2 individuals on both platforms who have joined us, thank you so much for joining us. I hope if you were part of this control point issue where your PvE base became PvP, I hope you got out safe. We did. We were some of the first on the scene this morning, so we took the opportunity to quickly get out. It was, it was probably about, I don't know, when did the server update happen? You know, it was probably about 2:30 a.m. when we found out that we were now in a PvP area. So Keon and I basically just, we just moved everything to a southern node, which we built really quick. We made that call on the fly because we were like, well, we can't. I was like, it's going to take too long for us to move the entire base out completely of the DD right now, and we're in a hostile situation and anybody could log on and attack us. So the solution was, let's go to the closest southern island to our deep desert base. That is a safe area. Let's build a little box there that we can build storage containers and move everything to. And then let's move the base and all of its stuff over there so that at least we can have a safe extract, which is what you're seeing me do right now, is the safe part of the extract. But it was quite tense this morning. It was very dangerous. We were both up to the points where we were nodding off. I think I finally got to sleep around 11 a.m., which was not good. I had many other responsibilities to take care of today, but that is what we did, and we were able to succeed. So, what I'm going to do, I have to go take care of something really quick. I do appreciate you guys for joining us. I do apologize that I'm going to have to do a little bit of a sit still and keep the stream running. But I have to run and take care of something really, really, really quick, and then I'll be right back. So I'm going to park this thing at our base, wait it, sit there, let you guys kind of watch the Coriolis storm happen over our base, which is slowly intensifying as the day progresses, or as the night progresses. And then I'll come back and we'll continue the move and finish everything up. But man, I'm still sleepy. I'm like yawning constantly. See? I didn't get great sleep either. This was just like, it got you wired, you know? About to go to bed, come check. Oh my god, our base is in a PvP zone. Let's get the fuck out of here, hurry. It's quite crazy. And thanks to Keon for helping me with that and staying up to help the commitment. I have issued you some very special guild points for that endeavor. Alright, so this is sort of where we're at. I'm gonna pop a squat right here so we can see the moon. And I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, folks, we're back. Sorry about that. Just had to run and do some quick little errand. And so now, okay, let's see. We have this case left, which has barely anything in it. So let's do that. And I guess I just added that spice to the thing, huh? Well, it's on video, so. Demolish. Okay, and as you can see, if we come in here, that's strange. Okay, good, it gave me the spice. There it is. Wait, that's crazy. You know, follow me here. Okay, I see what's happening. This is messed up. Everybody should pay attention to this. Okay, so we won the Landsrad, and the Landsrad decree means that crafting costs are reduced by 25% as of now. Now, while you get 100% of your goods back... Okay, so this is good to note. While you get 100% of your goods back from the deep desert, what that also means, apparently, which doesn't make sense, because you constructed it at one cost and now it's a different cost, but that means that when you break down items, because large storage containers cost 4 spice melange. I just broke that container down, and what did it give me? It gave me 2 spice melange, right? So that doesn't really make sense. We're gonna have to try to make sense of that. Yeah, that's pretty wild. And what we're gonna do is we need to move a container, smaller container, down here. Oh, shoot. Come on. We're gonna take one of these guys. Come on. Down here. Ugh, okay. And put this in the middle of the room, and we're going to use that to transfer stuff. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to transfer, I want to leave that on me, but this is going to go in there. I'll probably use this right now, actually. Sorry, I'm gonna drink this. Oh, I can't drink it because my spice meter's full. Well, gulp, gulp, gulp. There, I drank it. Okay. And here, let's just make sure... Right, okay, so this is gonna break down next. Oof. Spice. And now let's look, right? $20, $18, $19, $20, yep. So that gave us 18 back, spice melange. So I do believe that... Yeah, like, we're only getting half back now. Or, what is it? We're only getting 3/4 back now because of the reduction price. I think, I'm not positive. Which is kind of silly as well. Meaning, if a land strat is leaning in your favor, and you need to, you know, break stuff down to get out of the DD, you might want to do that before it takes effect. If it's a cost reduction or something like that, because it looks like we might be losing some resources in this. Roughly 3/4 of everything, which sucks. Okay, there's still stuff there, so let's do this. Very good. This goes in here. Cool, we have plenty of room in our assault still, I think, right? Not many slots. There's still room. Okay, so I guess the next thing would be the death stills, right? So let's do that. Wait a second. It said my backpack was... That was Dura, though, right? Is the Dura aluminum in there? Maybe it just filled up my backpack, which would be very lucky. Let's find out. Ready? Boom. Nope, there's some stuff there. I don't know, guys. Funny stuff happening. Just in case, let's do this. We're gonna put that there and this there so that I can make sure we're not losing anything. Okay, and then we go assault. Rest of that. Okay. Boy, if these issues, it's funny to me because of these issues that are happening, you know, with the updates and stuff, which we all have to deal with, right? So if these issues are causing people who are known as griefers to actually leave the game entirely, that just kind of shows you that in all essence, and I'm being completely honest, you can try to take me out for this, do whatever you want. That means that these griefers are kind of losers, dude. Like, only losers quit because they don't have the advantage anymore. That's like whiny, oh, I can't win, I don't want to play the game. So I find that to be kind of funny. Regardless of your quote-unquote skill or whatever in the game, it just shows what kind of a sportsman you are. So maybe they do this. Maybe they grief people. Oh, there's the rest of it. Good. Maybe they grief people because they were really bad at social events and sports. Maybe that's why griefers exist. A very specific psychological condition. Wouldn't surprise me. I did take a lot of psychology, and that is one of the profiles of people like that. Okay, so now this goes in the assault. Again, bit of a process, but we have a very small thing going on here. This is why you kind of want to keep your deep desert operations consolidated and easy to maintain, is for this very reason. Okay. That's all that. We're going to do the buggy. Spice generator's going last. Power's going last. All the water's next. Then the buggy. Then the spice generator. Then the walls. And we're out. Alright. Take this on me and that. And let's go. Man, what a day. My eyes are still so heavy. I slept for a little while, but again, didn't get to bed until like, oh, uh-oh, I have coffee in my hand. Drop it. Okay, didn't spill, thank God. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. I have a beautiful voice sometimes with the help of autotune. So good. People have called me a narcissist before, and I don't know what that word means. Wiggle waggle. Howdy.
I like to be social, but nobody likes to play with me. Such a social game, and everybody's so concerned on resources and messing each other up that they forget about the social elements. But I think those things are growing. They're very strong in the beginning of the game, and now it's like everybody's sort of grilling and... Hey, Win, look, it's a Win D Fenchon. Same kind of name. That's a funny comment. Whoa, Duke Leto needs me. So the guy says, why does Duke Leto give his hardest battles to the silliest clowns? And then Casper goes, whoa, Duke Leto needs me? I'm the Red Duke's top guy. That's funny. Alright, so another thing we're gonna do... I don't know if I'm gonna pull the trigger. Like I said, I have 0 PvP kills. I'm not really in this for the PvP yet. I'm getting there. I'm very much starting to feel it. But we have an arena out here. Well, it's gonna go down now, but they're gonna probably build it again for next week. One of the... Which, by the way, if you have the arena, if you're somebody that builds stuff like that, that's like sort of for public access out in the deep desert, that's definitely one of the good times, because you're probably not going to relocate so often in that area. That's definitely one of the good situations and scenarios to use a Solidal replicator in, so you can just copy the base and drop it down each week. Build it up really quickly. F8 has a small spice node. Who cares? I guess some smaller players would care, but it's safer to just wait for that stuff to happen in the Hagga Basin. Unless you need it pretty desperately, which I know how that feels. Alright, so we need to build the 3rd container. Ugh. Still so tired.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. And then there's also what? Maxwell House. Wait, this one goes. This one should be like this. Or how about this?
Maxwell House coffee. Good until the last drop.
Spice-infused coffee, right? Law and Order. That was it. Law and Order. Bam, bam. I finally got it. That's the sound that we're hearing. It's like the Law and Order. Bam, bam. Ooh, don't worry about that. Just a little scratch. Look at that guy, he's gonna get in water.
Use my bullhorn. Those a-holes just never stop fighting. Thank you for silencing that. Thank you so much. I have to listen to them bang, 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 bang. All day, all night. Never stops. So thank you, good sir, whoever you are.
That's probably one of the douchebags that's griefing me. Oops, I said that publicly. That's okay. Whatever. Okay. Okay, so now, as you can see, my example of we need the, that's why it's not working. Because we need the stuff from our assault. Basically putting ingots in one case. That's how I'm separating it. Oh, it's full now. So let's move to, I'm gonna put this, yeah, let's do it in here, because this one, I'm gonna swap these out and put the rest in there. Okay. And then something like that there. My Deca goes up there. Oops. And this, and this. Okay, and now we get the, what was it, steel, right, in our possession. 5. Hey. Oh, and 70 plus stadium, right. So, where? I always kind of like, it's like I have a problem seeing Plastanium because of the way it looks. It looks like just a cup. Dang it. Okay, fine. Drop that for now. Give me the Plastanium. See if we can just build it really quick from the stuff on the ground. And there it is. It's our third container. That should house... Everything here should house our entire base. So that should be the last container that I really have to make. And now we can just make runs. And let's put that spice where it belongs. Look at that. That's lots of spice. And we'll start to refine this in a little bit and add that to our guild pile for the take. The 2,000 of this, which I should split really quick, was donated by 2 of our members in order to go towards a crawler, but I'm gonna just see if they're okay with doing it towards the carrier, because it's better to have the carrier first than the crawler. Can actually make more spice, plastanium, and money off of the carrier. And I got rid of it. Okay. And back we go. Out again. Don't worry about that. It's another scratch. Figure if we hit it enough, we can grind us a little spot in the chassis of the ornithopter that'll just smoothly go right by it. Getting there. Yeah, and you want to take it slow breaking down your base from the deep desert, because you don't want to get everything too disorganized, lost, and crazy. So that's why I have different containers for different things. It's all pretty straightforward. The main things are the spice, the plastanium, and stravidium that we want to keep track of. Everything else is sort of expendable, minus the loot that was gathered from ships, and which is all in its own container as well. Own couple containers. You know, any tobacco companies that might be interested in sponsoring the ads, you know, we're desperate here. So, we'll take what we can get to this point. Don't really condone it, but... Law and Order. Next episode. God, I wonder if that is what's happening, if we're getting only like 3/4 of our resources back. It seems that way. Because that container only dropped 2 spice melange, and as you saw, it like takes, what was it, 4? So we're actually only getting half of our resources back. Rather than 3/4. Or 2/3, however you want to look at it. Because of the land strat. 25% construction cost reduce that we won. Might be happening right now. Might indeed be happening. Drop that little line. This thing is so slow. It's so sluggish. I wonder what flying the carrier is like. I'll bet it's even worse. That's why you gotta get those thrusters. Yeah, so hopefully we have some of the special edition episodes ready. But yeah, in terms of this live broadcast, you know, griefing griefers, that's what happened around noon today, which we were expecting, but I was sleeping, unfortunately, so I couldn't cover it because I was up for probably like 36 hours. I was almost ready to go to bed when I came out to the deep desert and realized that we were in a PvP zone. And had to start moving. So didn't go to sleep until like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. So I'm still tired because I had to wake up and help with stuff. But I woke up really late today too. Right now there's a trying to domesticate a group of stray kittens that some mom left under our balcony. So I'm literally One of them is in my office right now because I leave the door open and I have their food and water downstairs so I can watch them as they were getting chased by a giant raccoon, or a giant skunk that is about my size, and a raccoon last night. And I had to chase these things off all night running around the property. It was pretty crazy. So that's also what's got me pretty sleepy. But he's up here. One of the cats is up here right now. There's 5 of them. One of the kittens is up here right now. I think he's clawing the crap out of my snowboard bag, which is not good. But I'm kind of too tired to care. There's a cheap bag on Amazon. Not that worth it. All right. Okay, cool. So let's go down. Broke down the desk stills. Desk stills are good. Broke down the fabricators. Let's make sure we got everything out of there. Yep. Or I mean the ore refiners, not the fabricators. Okay, so now it's water. Now we get rid of our water, then we get rid of our jennies, then we get rid of the walls. In that process, in that order. So, boom. 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 And boom. Yeah. Put it in here. Oh, I forgot to do the count to see if we were getting, like, not as much back, which I'm pretty sure is the case. What are you doing? Probably chasing bugs. Hang on a second. This freaking kitten is freaking out behind one of my desks. Oh, there he is. What are you doing? Anyway. Silly goose. They're so cute, I can't say no. I had to do it. Okay. Right on. And... oops. Okay. Okay, well, let's put this stuff in there really quick. We're gonna leave one case as the very, very last thing so we can continue to transfer like this into our ornithopter. Boom. Empty. Empty. Okay. So let's put this stuff in there. Good. And then in here, what do we have? Rockets and this. Alright, so 2 of them are up here chasing each other around my stuff, which is funny. Alright, so we'll use this case as the transfer case, right? That's what we're doing? Yep. And rockets will stay on me. And then these 2 are empty, just confirming. Goodbye, goodbye. Okay, those go in there. Good, good. This is gonna give us some spice back, right? I think? I can't remember. No, those don't have spices. Duraluminum is the big thing there. Hold on, now he's getting my camera back. Nope, can't touch the camera back. That's off limits. Sorry, bud. Oh, dang it. What am I doing? See how tired I am? That goes there. Okay. And that was the last of the water. So now, what's on me? Do I have enough? Let me put the rockets in here too. Boom, boom. That stays there. Why not? And now I have to break down the buggy. Okay, so this is what we want to pay attention to as this happens. There's a bug right now, and it specifically has to do with carrying parts and traveling from the deep desert back to Hagga Basin and vice versa. So let's see if anything goes missing, shall we? Oh, actually, you know what? Really quick, let me just put that back on. I want to check and make sure there's nothing left in here. Didn't do that yet. Okay, so yes, it's empty. Detach. 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 And this is what people were doing at my base, okay? At my base in Hagga, which I have a special coming out for this week, and I had to stay up for 2 days fighting it and figuring out a way to mitigate it, which I did, and I caught him, and I'm going to expose him on my stream, which is going to be great. So keep messing with me, and that's fine. It's good content, and we get to see who you are. So what they would do is they would salvage buggies from the free buggies in Hagga Basin. And I guess this was unprovoked. I didn't know who they were. I had 4 squares of property I bought, and I just started building on them, and they would drive these salvaged buggies onto my property, remove one of the wheels, which makes this thing immobile, and they would retain ownership of it. And they got I thought it was 1 guy, but it ended up being 2, which makes sense because they would get up to 5 vehicles blocking areas in my base so I couldn't build. And so what I had to do is I had to deconstruct, build a giant wall around it so they couldn't drive any more in, and then I had to put leave that open and just make it an open area and let the storms come in to destroy the buggies. And then when they were finally destroyed, I put a pentashield up all around it, and I was able to build underneath the pentashield. So that's how I'm building my guild base right now, and it kind of sucks. But it's a way to do it, and I'm not going to give up the property, and I'm going to expose them and make sure I've reported them. I've done so many things, and it doesn't seem like anything's going to be done about it. But that's not, I don't even consider that griefing. I consider that harassment. Like, griefing's one thing, skilled playing is another for PvP. And then there's harassment, and that I think is harassment. Doing that for 2 days, wait, do you guys see it? These guys were acting like serial killers. They would not leave me alone. It's insane. But I found out who they were, and I'm gonna expose them, give their names and everything. Because if nobody's gonna do anything about it, we have to have a defense. And there are explicit rules against types of harassment. We're gonna be looking more into those, but I do believe that they crossed the line. Which is funny. I mean, it was just silly. It's like, why waste your time? I'm not going to give up. Which I didn't, and I won that battle. And now it's on to the next battle. Okay, so that's actually all good. Let's just take a look at our power consumption. Because we just have the pentashields running. And if this is all good, 13 hours, yeah. We're just going to take care of that spice generator right now. Okay, and the one thing we want to make sure is that we make room. I'm going to swap those out, and I want to get the spice in first. Come back down and grab the rest of that. That's why I should have left a case down here, because these doors are annoying. Come on, open up. Stop climbing on it. God dang it. I should probably just delete this. We don't really need it at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna just delete this thing. It's kind of annoying. But not yet. I guess put the stuff in there first. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got the unit, got the chassis, got the engine, ray, front, storage, and the utility rear. Okay, we got all those things. Let's see if they all remain as we go to Hagga Basin from Deep Desert, because that is a glitch that has been pissing me off, as I'm sure it's been pissing everybody else off. Stupid bug. I lost, like, get this. Somebody paid me 300 melange to do a lot of plastinium and strontium mining for them, and I did it. And it took forever. Oh, shoot. You know what? I got an idea. Make this faster. I did it, and they paid me 300 melange, so I went put the melange in a case in my base, locked it up, made it perfectly secure, owner privileges only. Woke up in the morning and all of it was gone. And I don't think anybody stole it, guys. I think it was a bug. So it's probably still there, and I bet you it'll even show up at some point. But for now, I have no access to it. So let me put all of these parts in here so I can go back down and get everything. Yeah, see, that takes a lot. Plastanium is heavy stuff. Let's move this. It's right here. Okay, back. Put it in the case for the transfer. Bunch of boring stuff today. This is what we do when the Coriolis storm comes in. We do the Exodus, the Burning Man Exodus happens. Oh, I forgot to take some stuff out. That's okay. Put it here. Oh, I guess I did, and it was just that much. The volume was high. The spice generator takes a lot, dude. It gives a lot too, but dang, it takes a lot. Somebody told me that the spice generator was just a waste of resources. You're wrong. It's not. I'll tell you why. It provides a lot of power, and you have an item cap out here. So if you are doing a lot of harvesting, and you have to build a lot of medium storage or a lot of death stills for the water, it's a highly beneficial thing to have. So don't listen to everybody. They don't all know what they're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. At least I admit it. But I seem to have a better idea than some folks who love, just absolutely love, to tell me what to do. Even though, and you can tell how sort of crazy they are because, let's take these parts down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because they don't even like watch the stream, so they don't know what's going on, and they don't look at the hours that I put into the game. So it's just like they make assumptions. Okay, there we go. That's good. All right, we're gonna take all this back. And then that's pretty much gonna be it. Minus the pentashields first, and then the walls, so take down all the power. Well, take down the pentashields, then take down the power, so we can take down the pentashields. Otherwise, it won't be clickable. And then take down the walls and get all that basalt back. Or the 2/3 of it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. Yep, griefer on griefer action. One griefer went after another griefer, opened up their base, let all the resources spill out, and I thank you to my team for providing me with that information while I was sleeping. And they opened their resources to the public. So one griefer went after the other griefer.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Okay, 4 hours to get this all done, but we're gonna need just like 1, maybe 2 more trips. Probably just 1 more trip, in all honesty. Wrong way, I gotta go that way. But yeah, we do have a special program that we're gonna be exposing some of these insane individuals on coming up, hopefully by Friday, maybe into the weekend. I was preparing some stuff for this that would have made it a very entertaining program, and I was hoping to actually stream it on Saturday after the 4th of July on the 5th. I was planning on streaming it, and excuse me. And then right before I finished some of the the content that I was going to stream, you know, this new incident with even more types of griefing came up. So I figured let's just document that, add it to the program, make it even better. So keep an eye out for that. I'm probably going to do it on the stream and make it its own little video. To catch a griefer. Yep. Okay. We've seen several naked individuals come out here talking about how they're naked so they could respawn at their base. Probably getting a lot of sand in unwanted places. Especially during the winds and the Boreal storm. Winds will kick up to about, what was it, 700 kilometers an hour? Which is the justification for the destruction of everything in the DD. Okay, so on us, what do we have? We have power generation. And then we need to make sure that we have the materials. I think I accidentally put the materials for the death stills in the collective stuff. So I'll just have to make sure that we have enough materials in the other cases for death stills. And I'm going to consolidate all that later. Make sure that we have all of our deep desert stuff in the large cases to build the base in the morning. So I will have to be up no matter how tired I am. I will have to be up at that hour so I can bring it back. Law and Order. There it is. What is that sound? I thought that sound was supposed to indicate that you're going from a PvP to PvP. It's just happening every time I go from the deep desert to Hagga Basin. Oh, junk. Did I? No. Come on, big boy. Come on, get in there. Okay, so all this now goes in the larger cases. Right, see? Totally messed that up. Okay, so let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got the PSU, we got the thing, got the chassis, got the gun. Okay, looks like everything stuck around this time. This is all to build, that's not, to build stuff. Alright. So that's number one, and what do we have on us? This is just the buggy, so let's rebuild the buggy. Actually, I think I'm just going to leave the parts in there because this is our deep desert buggy, so we'll need it out there. So what I'm going to do is put the buggy parts over here. There we go. Alrighty, and hopefully this is the last trip. Please be the last trip. Maybe one more after this. Oh, I should drop the rockets. Rockets, I just make them, I put them in here, and then I take them out to the DD for our peeps to use. Rockets and missiles. Oops. Let's put this over here. Missiles down here, rockets in the bottom. Alright. Let's go. Drink a little bit of water. Back out. This thing overheats quick. Everything about this thing is sluggish. I'm not really a huge fan of the Assault. I think the more appropriate name for it would be the Transport. Not the Carrier, but the Transport, because that's what you do with it. I don't know, they're really slow. They don't just... I feel like Scouts are better Assault Ornithopters than the Assault is. It's too slow and it's too sluggish. And it's, you know, if you were able to carry missiles instead of rockets in the Assault, or both, with thrusters, I think it would be more of an Assault, but... I mean, what does more? Does anybody know? Let's find out. What does more damage, missiles or rockets? Probably missiles. I would assume it would be missiles. I've probably yawned like 30 times. Jeez Louise. Yeah, if anybody has any questions about some of the stuff that occurred, go ahead and feel free to tap that in the comments. I'm happy to answer. We are aware of many things that have occurred. Talked about them a little bit earlier. Don't want to repeat them too much. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, if you have questions about all the mayhem that occurred over the last 24 hours, do ask and I will give you a summary. I love engaging with the audience when they do engage, so. Okay, this should be our last trip. This will be breaking down the last two power generators, all the walls, and the pentashields as well. And then we're out until the Coriol storm hits. Then I gotta be up right after the restart from the Coriol storm, so that with the team I can come out here and basically rebuild the base. So we're not going to do that live. Probably going to finish doing the base here, bringing it back, and allocating everything, and then in the stream until we get everything established and we can make some more interesting content. We took a little bit of a break to make a better format for the show, which you guys will be seeing as we live stream next week. In case anybody's curious about like what that format is, I'll give you a little preview right now. Here you go. Go ahead and hit the card. Hagga Basin. This is Hagga Basin News. Vin Mandrake here in Sky Hagga, and as you can see, the Scoloris storm is in full effect, and I am seeing a giant giraffe walk across the desert. Holy shit, is this not news? My God! Oh my God! Look at it! It's beautiful! Hello, friend! Oh, that giraffe is gigantic! How high up is he? Oh. He's got a horn. It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn. Oh, I don't know what's going on right now. This is the best news I've ever gotten. This is gonna make us. This is gonna make our station. What the fuck is that? It's a fucking giraffe. Where does horn go? I'm gonna ride it. Where'd he go? Folks, I don't know if you just saw that, but here we are covering the ongoing effects of the Coriol storm. And I'm not sure if that was a result of the Coriol storm, but that giraffe was gigantic. All right, so that was a little preview of some of the pre-produced content that we're going to be integrating into the program starting on the next stream. It was going to be like the next stream like right away, but because of the incidents today with the deep desert and the movement of the control points, I figured I would just cover this, see if any action goes down. We touched it this morning as it happened after we moved our base out to a safe area because we were in one of the affected areas. And yeah, we got messed up. Okay, so look, it's going to give you 2 spice melange back for that and 2 for that. I do believe that is less than it costs. So we're not actually getting our full resources back from deleting these. That should be noted. Because that's not very fair. Even though we won the land strat. It's okay, it's going to cost us less to construct things, but it's still a little bit of a loss. Alright, so before I take down the last power generator, let's get rid of the pentashield here. And also the pentashield down here. Oh, go back. Get rid of that. Cool. And get rid of... It won't let me. Come on. That was definitely open. Okay. And... wait. Oh, no. Hold up. Did I take that one down already? I might have dropped that one already. But let's just check. Yeah, I'm gonna do this real quick, just to make sure. 2 calibrated strokes, 25, 80 cobalt pace. Look at that. This is what it broke down. Oh my gosh, yeah, we're not getting everything back, guys. I don't think. Maybe it's here. I don't know, let's find out. Oh, and I'm gonna need that too to put it back up. I mean, there's definitely a loss in materials. Yeah, see? Duraluminum, cobalt paste. Did I put that in the ship already? Let's find out. Maybe. Oh, 80, 40. I don't think we're getting everything back, though. I really don't. Aluminum. What is taking up all the space? Wait, why is my volume? Wow. Cobalt paste is heavy. Okay, duraluminum, cobalt paste, and this stuff. There we go. And then power. Okay, so I did take the pentashield down already. I was just not paying attention. Alright, so delete. Okay. Put all this in here. And all that goes in the assault. Right? Good. Pick up the rest. As much as I can anyway. Okay. Alright, and then all this goes in the assault. Alright, now let's do this. This is empty, right? Okay, so we need to move the case. Like I said, the case is the very, very last thing that you want to delete. And you want at least a medium to do all this. But what we're going to do is we take it and we go outside. Drop it somewhere, anywhere, somewhere please. Give me a flat spot. I might have to just put it on one square in the bottom. Yeah, because nothing's even enough. So we'll put it right at the very end here on the one square. Okay, and then we are gonna go nuts and just start demolishing things. Let's just check around. Everything looks good. No cases on the floor. Excellent. All clean. Okay, we're gonna come out front here. Park sideways. Start deleting. Get as much basalt back as the game is gonna let us, because I am too tired to even figure out right now if we're not getting everything back. But I'm pretty sure we're not. And I think it has to do with the Landsrad 25% cost update. So now we're only getting probably 2/3 of what we had back. God, I love that mural. I wish I could build it. It was a Twitch drop and I missed it. Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm watching my volume, and as soon as the volume gets close to cap, just so I don't have to pick up from the floor, I'm gonna drop it in the chopper, or the thopter. Plastone, not basalt. It's what we make out of basalt and silicone blocks. Okay. Just destroying a base, no big deal. Oh, went out one square. Good job. Nice. Okay, that takes care of the top level. Boom. Let's just put all that in there for now. Yeah, whatever. So we'll probably just leave the subfief and let it get trashed, because it's just scrap to build that. Not a big deal. Just kind of see how things weigh out. Yeah, it looks like this might be our last trip for sure, then, with all this. Goodbye, deep desert, until the morning in a few hours. Goodbye. Cool. And let's put all that. Wait. Oh no, I have to transfer it manually. Because I think I deleted the subfief. Maybe, perhaps. Yep, I deleted it, so the base is no more. Noted for next time. That's just kind of annoying. And take this, put it all in there, and then the finale. Bye. Goodbye. All right, that's it. And let me put it all together just to stay organized. There we go. Peace out. Yep, that's it. All done. That spot saved our butts last night with the whole control point move. Because we were like, we have to bring everything back to Hagga Basin now, and we came up with the idea of, no, let's just go to the closest safe zone island south of here and make like a proxy base to transport everything to, so we can get out of hostile territory as soon as possible, and then we'll move all that back to Hagga Basin without having to be stressed about it, which is what we did. And I gotta say, it was probably the best way to work in that awful situation. But it did pin Griefer against Griefer. I gotta say, that's good. I'm a little upset, so I was waiting for it to happen and it just didn't happen, and I was getting too sleepy, fell asleep, and it did occur during the time that I was sleeping, which is around the noon hour today. As you can see, I'm still exhausted somehow. I think it's because this last week has been extremely taxing on my mind. Like having to think on the fly to mitigate several unforeseen situations. This has by far been the hardest week that I've had to play this game. Like we've noticed every time they do an update and they say they quote unquote, I don't know where these guys are getting their definition of fixing, but I would start using a different term because every time they say they fix something, like exponential other things break. And I don't call that a fix in my mind. I call that an update that didn't work. Trial and error, I guess. Experimental, temporary adjustment. But it's definitely not fixing. And then aside from that, just had to deal with another exploit for 2 days that just was like, oh my god, it took my energy out and I had to think really hard and work really hard to make it work. So people say, when a lot of people are complaining about this game, why do you play the game then? Well, at this point, I'm not really even playing the game. I'm sort of just like watching and documenting how it's just falling apart. I mean, this thing is like held together by duct tape. And at this point, duct tape and not even super glue, but like maybe Gorilla Tape. Duct tape and Gorilla Tape. Whatever quantities you can get your hands on. But yeah, at this point, it's not really even playing the game. It's just sort of like observing the issues that the game is... Law and Order, next episode. That the game is, the developers are introducing to the game. So, I wish that wasn't the case, but, the only reason I'm really still here is I got a lot of friends that I made through this guild, and they're all still committed. So, I'm staying committed as Hagga Basin News, and taking care of that. But, let's just see how things continue to go in this thing. I do game reviews, and I have been putting a review for this together. While a lot of people jumped to the conclusion of doing a review right away to be the first ones out there, I like my reviews to be a little bit more accurate. So, depending on what the game is, I try to give it a little bit of time to develop so that we can see what kind of issues the game really does present as it develops further, especially games like this. So, I'll give you a little hint at that. The review started out as a very good review in the first week, even though it had a lot of problems pre-launch into launch. And that review has changed drastically. Hence the reason why I was patient with doing a review on this one, because I knew some things were going to develop. I didn't know it was going to be to this extent, but I did know that was going to happen. Right, so it looks like we'll be able to move like all of our stuff into like one container, right? So what I'm going to do is go to the assault. We're going to put the rest of this stuff in here, right? Okay. And then I'm going to take the contents. See what's in here? Nothing, right? So we're going to put all tier 6 stuff. Well, that's buggy. Yeah. So buggy and tier 6 stuff is going to go over there. And we're going to use the other buggy to transport everything. Good. That's just to keep account easier, right? And then all this. Good. Okay, so spices in there. That's going to be divvied up. Next, tier 6 materials and process materials. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, though? Because, yeah, this is technically for the duraluminum. I'm going to allocate, just so everybody's aware, and if some of the guild is watching, I am going to put things like the duraluminum in here to construct with, the steel to construct with, and the iron to construct with, right? And the silicone to construct with. But everything else, because these are tier 6 construction materials, that's gonna go in... see, this, like, this right here, the plastanium is kind of part of our take. So as you can see, that almost fills us up. So I'm gonna put that in there. Alright. And then that's the tier 6 materials for take. So then I guess the rest of it, what do we have? Yeah, the rest of it I'm gonna split up between ingots and construction, put them with our base construction stuff, and the rest, yeah, like, here's what we should do, is we should put the batteries. The body. Okay. And I guess the industrial pumps, right? It's all gonna go in the base construction box for extra building materials. Okay, and then the batteries for power once we get out there. Alright, the body for water. And these I'm actually probably just gonna try to process here. This, actually that needs to stay there, because this is construction spice melange. So this melange will be staying here so that we can construct the materials that we need. Alright. And then, is there anything else in the buggy that would go in here? This I'm just gonna process while it's at my base and then add it to the boxes. So that we have that material, and I'll divvy that up for the takes. And then I guess the loot is gonna go in the middle one. Right? Yeah. So construction, loot, and take. That's the order of things. Okay, that's done. That's done. That's not done. Alright. Oh, but there's still a lot in here. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, you know what I'll do is I'll put this in the buggy. Nope, wrong case, sorry. Nope, wrong case, sorry. The buggy has it, so the buggy will put it in here. Boom, boom, good. And then the loot would be here. Good. And then that stuff stays in there so we can refine it. Empty. And then this stuff goes in the buggy. And then from the buggy goes in here. Wish there was a transfer all rather than only a take all button. Alright, so that's good. So you got empty. Top row empty. Except for the titanium strontium in there. Alright. And now this buggy. Okay. This. This is going to be important. Buggy. And this buggy. Okay, so these are going to be extra construction materials, the ingots. Except for any plastanium. This is construction plastanium, so we don't touch that. But those go in there, and that goes in there. Good. Alright, and the rest is in the loot box. Boom. Let's just do one more pass, make sure. Okay, so starting at the top left. Titanium, strontium, good. And then empty, good. Empty, good. Empty, good. Empty, good. Empty, good. Wait, was that? Yeah. Okay. And then construction, right? Loot, okay. And then take to split. And also the buggy, which will go back. Alright. And, oh, this is to go in construction, the stuff I have on my person. So this goes here, 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 and here. Alright, and now that's it. That's the whole thing. We're done. We have successfully extracted without a loss, minus the materials that might have been lost, in the sense that I think the Landstrad 25% cost actually makes us only get back around 2/3 of our materials. So, yeah, now let's just see if we can go ahead and... Yeah, it won't process because I don't have them on a circuit. So what I want to do is I'm going to change... For now, this is a smart way to do it. Because I'm separating the deep desert stuff that we got from my personal. For now, I'm going to take this, and the input is that, but the output circuit's going to be circuit 5, because I know that one's not being used. So, output circuit 5, right? And then output circuit 5. As well as for the spice. Okay, so output circuit 5. Alright, so all that is on output circuit 5, and what we do is we go up to here. We're going to change this to output circuit, or input circuit 1, output circuit 5. And the input circuits... Oh, wait. Output circuit 5. No, input circuit 5, output circuit 1. Sorry. Input circuit 5, output circuit 1. Good. Now we should be able to process all that stuff, and it'll go right into that box with what we get. Spice and all. But actually now I have to change... I forgot. Since the spice, the raw spice, is in here, right? Then this is output circuit... No, input circuit... No, those don't change. Circuit 1. Yes, that's fine, I believe. So now we go back, and we'll get the spice rolling first. See how much melange we can make out of that. I have it all written down that 2,000 spice was donated by 2 of our members from a run earlier today towards our either carrier or crawler. So why won't that... Oh, because I did input circuit 6, right. So I have that separated. So let's go input circuit 1, output circuit 5. Perfect. There we go. We can make 4, which is going to be 40 melange additional. So there we go. Good. Tritium. Input circuit 1, output circuit 5. Tritium strands, 2 out of that. That's in there. Okay, and then... Yep. Stame 25, so let's just do like 12, and then 13. Okay, and everything's rolling. That's gonna go back into our case here, so think 40 extra melange for our take is what it should factor out to. So that'll be 205, so 705 melange. $705 melange is the take, and that will be split between us. Alright, and then 42 spice, everybody can have that. Then we have our plastanium and the plasteel plates. Very good. Actually, the plasteel plates could... No, let's leave those there for now. Those are important. Let's see, is there any in here? No. Alright, that's it. Construction materials, loot, and take. And that's going to be all for us here today. Hagga Basin News. Thank you guys for joining us. Special programming coming up this weekend. We dealt with a lot of BS to put up with it. That's why I'm yawning so much. So hopefully I get this stuff together. It's going to look sweet. I can't wait to show you guys. I really want to blow this thing up while the game sort of, you know, takes a nosedive. Let's see where it goes. Talk to you later. Thanks for joining us. I hope your stuff was safe during the control point issue. Ours was, but we got really lucky because I happened to be on to see it before anybody else did. And we got our stuff out safely. So thank you for joining us. This has been Mandrake. Hagga Basin News, your news across the Dune. Signing off.